Another restart. We're good to go.
Slowly but surely we're getting this game live.
Don't call me Shirley.
That was a good setup.
Yeah. I've been wanting to use that one for a long time. I haven't
Yeah,
heard...
I feel like you were sitting on that one. Do you have one like a notepad with that one written down?
Yeah, a little sticky note on my monitor.
Just don't call me Shirley is all it said.
That's all it says. You think that this is going to the second best of 3, and we can only hope because that would just be the most epic thing. But we'll see. This is the map that really is going to tell it for us because you have to be multiple on a map as wide as Season. You cannot be singular like in Nuke. Stabbing Train! Keyboard Commandos wins it, and they'll probably pick... It doesn't really matter. It's an even map. I see 8-7s on this all the time.
They just had a lot of momentum on their T... Oh, wow, they're actually... I was about to say the opposite. They're opting to play CT side. I think part of that is, you know, wanting to put the ball on Perfectionvore's court, so to speak. I think, you know, they think they have control of, you know, the best of 3 score-wise. I think they're on... well, I mean, I don't think. I know they're on their own map choice. They're feeling confident. They want to put it up... Or they want to put the onus on Perfectionvore to step up and take those T-side rounds. Or else, you know, when they switch, Keyboard Commandos is not going to slow up, and they're going to do what they want to do on T side.
Yeah, or there's like the placebo effect, you know, like we start on CT side, and that just makes us feel comfortable because there's less pressure. Oh, look at the push. On the minimap, 3 players have moved all the way through. B1 is in the vent. The number 2 man is so close to the flank. They can hear, Edwin can hear he was guarding the flank, and with that bunch play that they went to on the first round, they're moving as a train together, so they do retain the ability to protect each other as they move, and it's on Keyboard Commandos to respond. Oh my lord. Ruin continues to be on fire, executes Kinky. There's the trade, and that drops a player that I just called out. It's just Ruin. He's the only one left coming through the construction, and he's about to get digged. There it is. Perfectionvore has 1 on the board.
They are, you know, just doing exactly what they need to do. They, I guess, knew that they were getting pushed pretty early on. Edwin heard the flankers coming. You know, unfortunately couldn't do a lot about it. Did some damage before he died, but that was enough intel for his team to know pretty much what to do and that they were good to go to run through mid. It was Vico getting that opening pick on the guy CTJ that really allowed that A-take to go down as smoothly as it did.
Interesting that a decoy has been dropped in spawn in case anyone wants to push and they get a little bit scared. In the subway is where we're going to have a chance encounter of the violent kind. And then we missed that trade only because it was not a trade, a double, excuse me. Only because we wanted to see SWZ try to get his kill on potentially the bomb planter. He drops 1 before he is duly taken out. 3 alive for the CTs. That's a CZ, and a P250. Just 2 CZs, actually.
Those CZs are dangerous.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Best gun in game.
I know you're definitely a supporter. I'm a P250 guy at heart, but it's hard to ignore the randomness that is the CZ.
Oh, it's a science, man, and I know you're just a little bit jealous.
Oh.
You know, like you want to.
It's true. The main reason why I'm a hater is because I just can't use it. It just doesn't work for me.
You see everybody getting like those tons of eco headshot kills, and you're like, why not? Why not me?
Look at AGM just using it like it's a P250. I mean, if I could use it as effectively as everyone else seems to be able to, I would definitely be in favor. It just doesn't fit my playstyle. I don't know what to say.
To reflect on what we actually just saw, there's a lot of rebuys just forced by Keyboard Commandos. A very successful round. Oh, good God. A CT side surprise buy.
Well, they did save those 2 Galils, so, you know, financially it wasn't that taxing on 2 of their players. And firepower-wise, they're just about even with Perfectionvore. So...
Keyboard Commandos, if they can just make one sneaky play, as long as if they can hide their weapons, not spam through smoke, and catch an early kill on Perfectionvore, that could tip this round immediately in their favor. Look, there's a gap in the smoke. AGM knows it, so he's not going to wade right out into that mess. Oh no. Smart smoke. Very smart smoke. Galil's spray down, it could have been a triple. AGM picks up 2. Now it's pretty much announced that guns are on the field, because not only did they see his Galil, but they also saw the FAMAS of the B player who is in B main. We seem to be stuck on this camera right here. Here's the rotate kill. Trades even. 2 versus 2. SWZ and Ruin versus Vico and Sulek, but SWZ, he's very, very weak. Very, very low. He'll exit. Vico will, and he'll go back to B main. His teammate will wait by jail side.
Playing this pretty passive. in their advantage as Vadi, who is now sporting a new name, takes down Ruin, and Vico also catches SWZ off guard. The fact that they waited so long to peek and were peeking from positions where Keyboard Commandos, I guess, didn't think they would be, which is to say not in the site, they did a great job of catching them off guard, so they have rifles in their hands, and Keyboard Commandos has no economy to speak of right now.
Your mic did the thing where it dropped and got quiet, and then you got loud.
What is that all about?
I don't know.
I think it's Skype, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, did it happen while you were in school?
I don't think so. I don't know. I mean, I don't hear it, so it's tough. I'll have to listen back and try to find the source of it.
All right, thus far, Perfectionvore has known that Keyboard Commandos is not really respecting their map control, and they've been wanting to push into their faces just a little bit too often. So they'll slow it up this round, let the action come to them, and also because they've done their tabulations, they've got their accountants all over the action, and they know that they should be on an eco. And this might be a trap. AGM baits himself, and Solo Subs had the perfect opportunity to ambush. Look at the trade out, though. That one was a good-looking USP shot. Solo Subs had Vico dead to rights. It kills me that that didn't work. Ruin's the last one alive, and he is sneaking. He's at the jail side, specifically at the cage. And the bomb still comes here. Well, I guess if they travel in tow together, then it's still a good decision.
If I were Perfectionvore, I would actually be avoiding AGM at all costs. I mean, I know he wasn't the only player carrying weight last game. There you go, nice pick by Ruin, but we'll get instantly traded out. I know he wasn't the only one fragging. I think Ruin was pretty much right up there with him in terms of frags, but AGM is a pretty known player. I mean, everyone knows that he's going to be just mechanically sound with his play, and they've identified him 2 rounds in a row where he is playing. So if I were Perfectionvore, I would, look to, pick and roll in a different direction, or if they really want to challenge him, make sure they smoke him out and make him as ineffective as possible.
Well, picking him is much easier for us to just say. Just pick him.
Yeah, just pick AGM. No biggie.
No big deal. They've identified his location, sure, and as appropriately, they're working away from him this round.
He's playing an AWP there. That's interesting. And he might be able to get a pick on Warpath, and he does. That's why I would want to avoid AGM.
Well, you have a support player close to the flashbang. Ruin wanted to get a little greedy and get that person coming across mid through that wall of smoke. He could have caught him as he moved toward Cat, and it's going to be a successful move toward A's catwalk. All of Perfectionvore has leaned toward this map, and I think the Keyboard Commandos have moved everyone but one B player toward here.
And they seem to have the right idea.
Yeah. Perfectionvore, they've got a lot of open space to work with, and it looks like the in-game leader for PVOR is calling for him to get a little bit more information before they commit to his site, or they'll just come in right now. Ruin and SWZ blow up all those plans. Sulek or Vati, the last one alive, comes out of the subway, and of course he was looking the wrong way. 4-1, Keyboard Commandos post their first round.
Stacking Ruin in the site with that AWP and having a rifle support right next to him, ready to peek out on the other side of the box, is actually a pretty sneaky and pretty dangerous setup that Keyboard Commandos is running. I mean, it allows him to get that instant pixel peek on anyone AWPing, and then once the Perfectionvore player steps out and starts, trying to take some pot shots at him with the rifle through the box or to the side of the box, he has a teammate peek out. Oh man, that was a rifle pick right off the top.
Yeah, it was. Edwin wanted to transfer his burst and pick up the second one. To your point, it wasn't a stack at the site because Ruin actually plays mid, J, and then comes into the site when he needs the support. So he moved over there, and that play that they did was impromptu, so that's just good team chemistry.
Definitely, yeah. They just worked off each other really well. I didn't know that Ruin was playing mid, but I mean, that makes the play, that much more impressive.
Yeah, much more impressive. Perfectionvore sees the site. With 4 alive, they're going to sneak the bomb to the other side of the map. Take a look. This guy is coming to a bomb site where nobody is. And Ruin gets a freebie. Oh no! Oh my god! What? How did that even work?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
But nothing about that made sense. Bomb gets planted, and AGM shoots Vadi in the back as he retreats from his bomb plant location. If you peek the jail cell, you're going to find someone. There's Kinky. He's down 2 versus 1, and the retake looks pretty good. Warpath is going to get smoked out. Maybe. And the defuse continues? Whoa! He's going to get it! That is so courageous. With no HP left and not a whole lot of time to work with, he stuck the defuse, and I don't know if Warpath heard it over his own gunfire.
I think he heard it because he was able to spam AGM right off the bat. I think he assumed Well, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I think that was really just a lot of luck for AGM and the fact that he didn't get killed there. I think Warpath thought he spammed all of the spots where a diffuser could be, and when he didn't get the kill, he assumed that AGM kind of backed off through the smoke and was not on it. I mean, that's what I assume, right? I mean, it was just so crazy. He got hit for what 93 and didn't get off the bomb. It's super gutsy, but he believed in his teammate.
I don't have that much faith in my teammates when I play matchmaking.
And well, I mean, yeah, I don't even if I'm scrimming, I don't have that much faith in my team. And Ruin with a nice opening headshot with that off.
I think SWZ sees the leg of the other player, so that eco sneak up on the J player strat, not terribly successful. I like the idea. The control had been a little bit passive, and they wanted to get up in its face. They had executed all the way up until the point where the killing happened, technically sound, and then it all fell apart. Vadi's the last, and he's in CT spawn. He's no Vico when it comes to being a spider monkey stealth like chimpanzee, but he's pretty good at being a, oh my god.
Hey, there's some extra money.
A double and a bomb pickup. There you go. 1 versus 3, and if he comes out of J, he's gonna get shot. Look the wrong way. 3 versus 4. 3-2-4.
Keyboard Kommandos definitely hitting their stride now, and really it's the AWP play that is helping them do it. It's something that I pointed out early in the game, and since they've purchased AWPs on Ruin and AGM, they have not dropped around. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Double scope look. We're now being bathed in riches if you're Keyboard Kommandos. That nade's gonna do so much damage. It lands in the middle of the two players, Edwin and Sulek or Vati, and they're down to 30 and 60 HP apiece. A errant op shot gets a second chance at it. Ruin comes back with a piercing kill. Will probably try to fire through smoke and get flanked on his right. His player, who is supporting him from the probably the construction side, did not call out the fact that he fell out, and I think Ruin aggressively pushed that box not knowing that they had moved out. There was a communication failure there.
They still haven't planted the bomb yet, which I find interesting. I guess they don't feel secure in the way that they have the bomb site right now, but the longer they take, the longer Keyboard Kommandos is getting ready to retake. I'm not sure if they're going to be ready for Solo's ups to be on cat, although Sulek is looking in that direction.
Here is the take attempt. There's a good-looking shot. Solo subs with a 4 burst. 1 alive in the horseshoe. It's Warpath. He seems to always be that last one, and that nade is not even going to let him get a chance to try to clutch. It's going to be 4-4 in Keyboard Kommandos. They came to play. They really came to play.
Definitely. I mean, in that situation, I guess, Perfectionvore doesn't know where the lurking CTs are, but I would like to see them get the bomb down slightly faster. I mean, you don't want to just rush in and start planning immediately before the site is clear, but this is, as you said, a very wide map, and rotations can take a long time. If you can get the bomb planted before the players can set up for their CT retake, you can easily, chop 10 or 15 seconds off the bomb timer just right off the top.
I'm just still very, very impressed at this whole notion of the underdog throwing off the term underdog and really punching the favorite team in the mouth, because that is exactly what we're watching.
Yeah, I'm going into the game. If you told me Keyboard Kommandos was gonna beat Perfectionvore in both 2 out of 3s, I would have thought you're kind of crazy. But after the performance they put on in the first game, I'm convinced. They sold me. I'm a believer now.
We may have just jinxed them really, really badly.
I think their play is going to be more significant than my jinx.
An isolated player. They're going after the specific Ruin player. The guy who always kills them with the op. How about that? He's actually in construction looking down on 2 ops right now, and I don't know that they'll re-peek him. It's not good for your health at this point.
No, I mean, they've just been getting decimated by this double op play, and I wouldn't be surprised if Ruin gets that awesome shot right there. Bring it down to a 5 on now 1. 0. How about that?
Here's the cleanup party. Look at that. Unfortunately for Perfectionvore, they couldn't tell that the smoke curved up just barely enough for Ruin to be able to see some movement there. Textbook bomb site a-hold, and now they take the lead for the first time in this game.
I mean, they've been textbook everywhere. The only gun round they lost is when they saved those 2 Golios and decided to just force off of it pretty much because they could. And, they got punished for it because they didn't have the firepower they needed. They didn't have the scopes that are
my god,
so important. Oh my god, Exis, he's going to pick up a bunch of frags here, guaranteed.
We are going to see a pain train, and it doesn't stop. I guess they turned around. I thought they were going to go charging into the jail side, and they go pick up the gun from the J. Ruin realizes that it's a wrap toward A. You've got somebody coming from the catwalk, a bunch of players coming from the J, and this could be the beginning of an eco round win because of how displaced all the CTs are. Unless Ruin starts doing this, never mind. 1 versus 3 solo subs is the last one alive. He comes back through CTJ, and you can see at the top of the upper path, Warpath, 5 on. Yeah, we're a tough. I sometimes get that scoreline mixed up because it doesn't update fast enough. 5-5.
Yeah, that round, don't want to place the blame on one player because there were plenty of CTs who missed their shots, namely AGM rotating through jail with the op. But Exus was in a great position to frag heavily, and he threw a smoke that actually kind of scared Perfectionvore off of going his direction, and then he pushed through his own smoke only to get killed by Kinky. So, gutsy play, a little sloppy. I think that play might work, 6 or 7 times out of 10, but it's a little low percentage for my taste.
It's a 3-2 split A, fairly standard play, and they have yet to cross mid. That nade's going to do some pretty good damage to Vico. I wonder if that last round did anything to illuminate for Perfectionvore what exactly needs to be done to win these rounds. They noticed that they cut off the control at middle. They killed that player at J. They eliminated the player at jail, and suddenly there was no ability for the two halves of the CT force to get to each other and help each other because of how wide this map was. And that's true in a lot of 3-lane maps. If Perfectionvore can keep executing like that, keep using that game plan, they'll find a lot of success.
And they got the bomb down relatively quickly after taking the site. I mean, they got the bomb planted before the CTs could react to it, and that was why they were able to pick up the last 2 stragglers that they didn't kill earlier on.
Nope. You know what? AGM hears them. He's calling for the rotates. Take a look at the minimap. Everybody's vacating bomb side A because AGM has heard that these players have moved over toward us. He's missed Warpath, comes back, takes a bunch of damage, but still wins. A single frag nade would do the trick for him. The retake is 5 versus 4. Kinky comes back out. Piercing kill. Flash in, flash down, prevent, buy time. It's going to be messy. It's about to be the OK Corral. Here's the spray down. Sulik. Vati has a double, and Edwin steals one and gets cleaned up nicely by Kinky. 5-6.
So, once again, Perfectionvore hitting their stride when they need to. Seemingly forcing the CTs into a buy, but no, they're actually going for it. The only person who really had money this round was AGM with over 12k, and they're all pretty much, or he's footing the bill for pretty much all of them. They are putting a lot in this round economically, and they don't have any ops to follow it up, so I want to see some good rifle play out of Keyboard Kommandos.
This is crazily evenly matched. Really, really, really crazily evenly matched. Warpath is your lurker for the round. He's our number 9, and he's sitting over by the vents while the remainder of the T-Force will move into the catwalk, specifically the bucket at catwalk, and then the curl coming from the subway. I think Ruin saw the trajectory of that flashbang. He has to know that Vico's sitting in that bucket. He's going to get pre-fired, too.
Oh, now
there was the moment. Vico gets a second chance at it. You don't often... Not against with him. It's just you don't see that too often, but he capitalizes. There's a spray down. Vati joins the party, smokes out the construction. The bomb plant now ensues, and then 3 CTs have to retake versus 5. Unlikely, and perhaps unless we see something utterly miraculous, it's going to be 7-5 at the end of this one. Oh, good God. Warpath flicks down with a 2-tap. SWZ is gone. Solo Subs comes back for the flank, finds Vico coming to flank his flank on the flank. You know?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Honestly, I mean, the Keyboard Kommandos' current economy isn't really up for it, but their scoped weapons were really what was helping them pull through, and I think they won, all 5 of their rounds with those scoped guns, and they haven't won a round since they haven't had one. So, I mean, it's just, it shows how, I wouldn't say how much they're leaning on the scoped guns, but it shows how just even the rifle play is, and how Keyboard Kommandos kind of needs that X factor to take down Perfectionvore.
You're absolutely right, and your game plan is double scope. That's great. Well, it's a really pricey game plan. So what happens if it fails? What happens if you do go into the deficit area of your economy and then you can't buy? How do you
start rifling and losing? I mean, that's pretty much what we're seeing right now.
I'm pretty sure that's not what their playbook says, though.
No. That's just realistically what happened. I'm sure their playbook is to, be solid with their rifles and do what they would do with the scopes, except with rifles, which is, not out of the realm of possibilities for Keyboard Commandos, as they'll aim well with pretty much everything. It's just that they have to best another team that is also prepared for pretty much everything.
Vati comes up on the flanking SWZ, and this round is yet to be concluded. There's the attempt to find the player who is bothering the B entry fragger, so two get cleaned up quite quickly. Exis and Ruin are left, and they'll just probably look for exits at this point. 5-8.
It looks like Keyboard Commandos does have some money in the bank right now. It'll be interesting to see if they go for some scopes. AGM has 7-2, and the rest of his teammate is buying up rifles, Ruin included. Let's see what he opts to go. Goes with an M4.
Well, at this point in this...
I know. They need to win some rounds, and it is conservative. But
No, I was about to say it's the end of the half, so you buy whatever you want. So they feel most comfortable with their rifles. You see how somebody drop down into that mid pit. Definitely dangerous. I don't know that Vati has any idea where he is, but he still picks up the kill after all that fray. SWZ comes charging up back toward his teammate and across the wall. Two-man tandem fight. The bomb gets dropped in mid. It's a disaster. The play has fallen apart. All the teams have to go back for this bomb, and now the positioning battle, Keyboard Commandos controls this. It would take a colossal failure for them to lose this. But Vati might bail the team out. I can't. Why? Still, AGM is in good position, and if anybody's going to help this team come up over the hump and make the big play, it's got to be him. This is so big. It cannot be emphasized about how the execution just failed here, and Perfectionvore has just lost their initiative. Only one alive.
Man, I don't even know how AGM got that dink off.
8-6. We have
That
one
round, the double mid take seemed to be what did it for Keyboard Commandos. They didn't have the economy to hang back with their ops, so they pretty much did the opposite. And they were like, hey, if you Perfectionvore are gonna get up in our face, we're more than happy to reciprocate. We'll throw our nades, we'll get close, and when your bomb is trying to cross, we'll stop him dead in his tracks and break apart your strat. So I thought that was a really good move by Keyboard Commandos and really smart, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing it. Oh man, actually pushing all the way out of cats. They're gathering a ton of intel right now. They know they're not mid.
This is going to hurt. How did Exis win that battle? Vico had the drop on him for what felt like a day.
Yeah, I think Vico just kind of wasn't ready for it. I think at the very least, if he thought someone was coming his way, he wouldn't just jump straight in and go for the kill. But there you go, Exis doing what needs to be done.
Sometimes reverting to the pubby strats is what gets you those wins when you don't do the predictable things. Here's the entry. Warpath looks in, looked at the player in the corner, and then looked off. I hate when I do that. 1, then 2. Now it's down to a 2 versus 2. Appropriate that we've seen this a couple of times already in this half, and you all in chat corrected me. Thank you very much. It wasn't the last round, because basic arithmetic escapes me. 1 in B main, 1 in the site, still fighting, trying to find somewhere to hide. Kinky comes back aggressively to get him, and SWZ's the last one alive. He gets sprayed down by the AK, making this half 9-6. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton with Later in a really fun series. Really good. I like this.
I do too. I lost my words there.
There is a but.
I think I said a cohesive sentence, mostly because I just don't know which direction this is going to go. I mean, obviously pistol rounds are add up to a grand total of 6 rounds the entire game, so they're super important. But I mean, Keyboard Commandos just really needs it. But I'm interested in seeing if even if they lose the pistol, will their play be dominant enough on T side? I mean, we saw them pretty much have a dominant T side on Nuke. You got to imagine it's going to translate over to Season as well.
Those nades do so much, so little health among the T's, but Keyboard Commandos doesn't care. They came in sprinting, and somehow Edwin made it. Again, how do these things? Everybody gets the drop on everybody, and nobody wins those fights. Oh, AGM lays down the law. Kinky gets dropped. 1 alive. It's Vati, and he replies in kind. 1 jail side, 1 old ramp, and 1 that last remaining CT. Coming from
Vati does have a kit, and the T's are very hurt. So there you go.
Oh my God! There's a double. And the kit, and the defuse. Solo effort by Vati. Signature defuse for you, an MVP star for you. 10-6, and Perfectionvore now takes a commanding lead with probably one more.
Hard to prove, but I did see that coming. I was not shocked at all that Vadi was able to do that. I mean, he's just been such a dominant player. Look, I mean,
I know in our pre-production,
fragging the entire game, not just his own team, and that is not unlike Vadi. That is very textbook Vadi.
Yeah, I know in our pre-production meetings, you told me specifically that he was the player to watch for you.
Yeah, definitely. Is a player that some of my teammates have LAN with before, and according to my teammates, he is just as good on LAN as he is online.
Surprising that Warpath couldn't pick up more than one. All of these Ts are so wounded. The P90 rage from Vico is actually mostly quelled as he realizes he can't gun down everybody like that. So here comes the retake, and the teamwork in tandem is going to claim just about everybody. AGM's the last. The number one man comes up over the upper. He can't reach the bomb, but he does have the P90 power.
That's what the P stands for, right? Power 90?
Power everything. Power of nades. 11-6.
Perfectionvore, you know, as I said, still not out of the woods. Keyboard Kommandos showed that they have a T side and they like to get aggressive. They are, you know, absolutely down to get in your face and shoot, just like Perfectionvore is. But, you know, definitely with what they've shown so far, they definitely have an edge with their takes that Perfectionvore didn't have last game, but seemed to have this game.
Flash down, and it'll allow Kinky to get into the pit and play from an aggressive position. Oh, I think that was a botch nade. Either way, no one was there to receive it. All of Keyboard Kommandos is stacked up with the exception of the flankers at bomb side B. Just kidding, we have one more controller. My eyes glazed over. The number one man is waiting and lurking at mid. So this is not uncommon for Keyboard Kommandos. We've learned a lot about their offense. They're going to go with the bunch, and they're going to go with the bunch often with speed. And I don't think I've ever seen them go to a spread look ever, which is really, really weak against teams that are willing to push you. If you do your homework on Perfectionvore, you have to know that they want to push you. You cannot go with a bunch every round.
Absolutely. They're more than happy to push through part. Look at Kinky right now, already tailing AGM, and AGM doesn't seem to know it yet. He's going to have to walk soon if he doesn't want to get hurt.
Ah, now he heard. Ambush. Two left, Edwin and Vati. So it worked. It seems that Perfectionvore is falling victim to the bunch pick, and they don't even roll. Keyboard Kommandos doesn't really even roll. They just get the bunch pick, and then they shove their way, they wedge their way into the site and dig in like a tick.
Yeah, and they don't seem to necessarily care. I mean, they got shut down a bunch of times right off the bat on T-side nuke, but that didn't deter them from sticking to their game plan. I mean, they lost the pistol round on that side and still followed with, you know, basically the same strat for the entire T-side. I wouldn't be surprised if we see them really try to abuse B for, you know, the full duration of this half. I mean, you know, maybe they'll mix it up and go to A a few times, but really, if you're going to go for the bunch pick and push off it, B is your site.
Let's reiterate one time for you guys who have asked. This game, though you may become the main CEVO-Main champion, and that in of itself is a great accomplishment with the prize money and the girls and the cars and what have you, you don't become... That doesn't happen in esports?
Well, not for me, but I've never been a main champ.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, that's how it works, right?
Maybe that's why. Maybe I just got to win main, and then that's what I need. But yes, continue with what you were saying.
You win main, you don't go to P. You go to the professional placement tournament. You have to earn your way into CEVO-P here. So this comes with a caveat. You've made it. Congratulations. Here's your prize money, and now you have to do something hard again.
From what we've seen in this game, I'm confident.
Is this unsilenced? Yeah.
Yeah. Solak with the unsilenced, or Vadi, as he's most commonly known as. That's something we saw him do last time we casted a lot. He's going to put it back on. That is the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
But I respect it. I like that very tinny, unsilenced M4 sound.
Look at this. They've siphoned off the left side of J, and they walk back into jail side. Vico sees him, walks back away, calls for a little bit of help because he's about to get... Are you kidding? They didn't check that? That's the first thing you... If somebody was just fighting you, that's the first place you check. What?
I guess he thought he saw the gun poking out slightly farther, but news to him, he didn't.
No, 3 versus 2. Now 2 versus 2. Exus and SWZ versus Edwin and Vati. The bomb gets dropped, and nade is dropped in the lap of Edwin. He only takes armor damage and wait for his teammate to come to help him do this. Ooh. Sad times for Exus, who cannot escape his fiery death. 1 versus 2. SWZ is in the main, and he'll hear the defuse. He's got the headshot directly on that diffuser, but of course his position is now compromised. He, of course, has to know that Vati knows where he is. Does he stick the defuse?
Does he know where the bomb is?
Yeah, it's not going to be enough time. Keyboard Kommandos is beginning to climb back into this one. They have 8 rounds. Of course, they've got a gap to close, but if they win this, they've already taken a best of 3. They're climbing that mountain that we earlier had said is impossible to climb.
Yeah, I mean, once again, if you asked me before the game, I would have said it's insurmountable for Keyboard Kommandos, but the play from their first game, they bought themselves a believer in me. So, you know, right now they are on the right track to winning this first best of 3, but really they are not out of the woods yet. Perfectionvore is not a team that will roll over. Man, wow, 4-man stack in mid on their eco, and Fatty gets the opening pick, so they don't even see the other players that were following him.
Ruin comes back around, though, to enforce, to make sure nobody picks up that rifle, and smartly, Perfectionvore is not going diving for that. They don't want to throw anything away. In the vent, AGM picks up Warpath, and maybe a second. He'll actually miss that shot. We'll go to Vati's perspective here as he's back in the site. The action doesn't follow him. Oh, did you just duck the CZ? Like, did anyone... It doesn't matter.
Oh.
It doesn't matter. Edwin went Rambo, jumped into the vent, and annihilated AGM. Now, Exus and company come in tow back toward the B bomb site, and look, he's being lurked. Look at this! Vico didn't let anyone know, and still he couldn't pick up more than 1. It was an easy 2 kills right there if he had just controlled his 5-7, 2 versus 3. And oh my god, I thought he was about to whip that one.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you very slowly walk through a smoke. I mean, you just, wow, what a good nade. You just get seen so much more quickly than you can see out of it, so it's pretty much a death sentence, and they know where this last CT is. Oh, we're pretty much chalking up another round for Keyboard Kommandos.
Kinky, what are you doing? He's going for
this knife out. I came in a little late, kind of missed it. Is that what he had just attempted?
He was blind. He was blind, but he knew there was a smoke in front of him. He also knew that the bomb plant was happening in the smoke, so he went blind, slashing into the smoke, and came out on the other side and then got knifed.
Oh, he got knifed? I didn't even... Are you sure he got knifed?
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure he got shot. I said knife because there was... Both players had knives out. It was a mess, is what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're running blindly through a smoke and hoping to blindly knife someone, that's kind of what's going to happen, but I respect the heart and I respect the effort.
Here's the spray through from Vika, and they'll re-smoke in front of the T's and make it just a little bit harder to get out of their location, so maybe you'll see Keyboard Kommandos do the first thing that you've ever seen them do, and which is turn around and give up on a bunch take. Or not at all. Warpath steps out, nice looking kill, and a second after seeing the shadow and the tracer of Exus. 2 alive for Keyboard Kommandos, and their comeback is about to be stanched just a little bit, unless AGM and SWZ do something pretty cool right now.
Which is, you know, not out of the realm of possibilities. It looks like they are rotating away, which is something new for them. They're not going B, but the 0 player, who is Vatty and who is a very dangerous player, is ready to pick them both up. I wonder if his gun will poke through. I mean, that M4 is...
We're about to see a literal lesson learned about what giving up map control does for you, because that allows people like Vati to move right up to the top of mid and then tell his teammate where the second player is, and Vico picks up that kill, 12-9.
If Perfectionvore isn't careful and they lose this round, they're going to hurt themselves in the same way that they got hurt in the first half of... I keep saying first half. In the first game, where they lose their bonus money and they can't necessarily, you know, recoup their economy. They are, you know, very heavily invested in this round, mostly because they had a lot of bonus money and they, you know, kept a bunch of players alive. So, Perfectionvore, you know, still in it. Or, I mean, they have the lead, obviously. They're still in it.
This is a full-on speed play, and it's getting blown up by nades a little bit. The armor has saved a couple of the T's. They've run over Warpath, but Vico still hangs on in the site, and if he hits another headshot, he will have done admirably for himself. Edwin's already in the site. He can see the bomb planter and gets traded. So, even Stevens. Oh my god! Vico's reaction is so fast. It's so damn fast. 3 alive for Perfectionvore as they try to retake 1 underneath in the former ramp and 1 at B main, the standard hold for Keyboard Kommandos, as they've done this a couple of times now. Vati, Kinky, and Vico in. They flash in, and I think Solo Steps is going to stay in the smoke. Is this real life? Oh, they picked up the bomb planter. AGM's still alive. He hears that defuse. He's not shooting. He stops. Oh!
No way.
A double! A double!
With the CZ. That's why I hate the CZ right there, because players that are awesome at the game, like AGM, can use it like a rifle. It might as well be a primary. Oh man, I can't wait for the chat to see that. That's my favorite, watching the chat react to plays like that.
Keyboard Kommandos has, in one play, turned around their fortunes. 2 pushing through mid. Kinky gets picked up in the pit. I don't think they know what the second player is, but now they're all pushing messily, not with the support player, losing a bit of their composure. And Keyboard Kommandos, you know how they it's not even a bunch pick. This is just roam around and destroy everything.
And they're doing it pretty successfully.
My God.
Yeah, I'm still a little shocked from that AGM play. I mean, that might have been the most important play of the game thus far. I mean, Perfectionvore was primed to basically turn that round into a bunch more and lock up the map to, you know, potentially stop Keyboard Kommandos from bringing it to a second best of 3. But AGM, can't sleep on AGM, especially when he has that crazy, crazy CZ in his hands.
You cannot. You could probably attribute this, if Keyboard Kommandos does do the unthinkable and mount the comeback and win this, you can attribute the win to the one turning point, a CZ flick. An epic CZ flick.
I think he was about as shocked that he hit that shot as we were.
No, you got to walk away from explosions in slow motion, man.
Yeah, you think, yeah, it was standard. I thought he would type standard after that.
If you know, in the vein of Counter-Strike players, you have to type easy.
Right, yeah, easy money, easy skins, any form of easy works too.
Yeah. 2-man trade-off and Vico's going to peek, probably get an easy kill, and maybe a double. Not enough bullets in the chamber of an M4A1, but it's okay. It's alright, you've done your damage, and Exus is down to 10 HP. This is what happens when you don't get map control. Edwin's all up in your grill, pushed up in mid, and you've got no real clue where anybody is. On top of that blue tarp is Vati, gunned down, and 4 Ts have taken the site, so maybe it's not a terrible idea to keep going with this bunch offense. Of course, if Perfectionvore read this a little better, and they realized that if we find 1, we found probably 4, so someone can push. We should probably push.
Yeah, it seems like that is what they're clued into with that mid-push, and even though the B+Ts that were outside there, they didn't find 4 like I think they thought they would.
This is going to be a tough climb, and Keyboard Kommandos now builds their economy. Take a look now when they sit pre-buys at 8-1, 6-1, 6-2, 6-2, and 8-5. Those 2 have to rebuy. They'll have guns drop for them, but they buy comfortably going all the way up until... probably, I'm trying to guess bomb plants here, up until the 15th round, so they're sitting fairly never mind, they bought an op. Never mind.
And they're putting it on Ruin instead of AGM, which is, you know, it's not a bad pick. I mean, Ruin was clearly doing work with that op on the CT side, but, you know, really, Real got to recognize Real there. I'd want that op if I was on that team.
You did not just...
I mean, am I wrong? I think that op is you know, better served in if it's in AGM's hands. But you know, hopefully Ruin can prove me wrong. He's not even gonna pick mid with it. That's interesting. I guess I think they are clued into what you were thinking, and that Perfectionvore knows that they may be able to push through and get lucky. So Ruin is looking to just get just an easy pick and roll off of it with that op. So you know, not a terrible plan.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Keyboard Kommandos has done a little bit of self-diagnostic, thinking that our game plan is being abused a little bit. People are perforating our lines, moving toward the top of mid, toward our spawn. Let's use a spread default just to pick up a couple of pushers in case they come, and then get into our strat at around 1 minute. So they're here, and they're moving into B main. Vico's on top at outer, still looking for a player to come in. He'll be ready to fight, but whether or not his FAMAS bests an entry op or an entry AK is yet to be seen.
They're pretty close right now. They're
Yes.
as close to being in the site without being in the site as humanly possible.
Yes, Warpath is right there. The number 9 man can just see them. Shot in the back, a double kill. And Perfectionvore starts us off beautifully. There's going to be another one here. And Ruin's op is now dropped. Vico surely is going to die. But this round looks like... Oh, it could go anyway. It could go any way now. Bomb plant down. 2 versus 3. We've seen this movie before. And they'll drop out probably one ramp and one B main or not. This time the change up for AGM is that he'll move to the corner of the site. Edwin comes in firing and we'll see a Batman or not. There it is. The fuse coming. It's going to be 13-12.
This game really is about as evenly matched as I think any game we've ever casted before. And I'm finally glad that Keyboard Kommandos is able to test Perfectionvore. While they are in the lead this game, still wouldn't count Keyboard Kommandos out, especially since they do have that one map lead. This is Perfectionvore being dragged into deep waters, and hopefully not hopefully. We're gonna see them sink or swim. For their sake, hopefully, see them swim. But really, Keyboard Kommandos is putting on a show.
That metaphor. Keyboard Kommandos is going to do their damnedest to choke them out, really, to keep that stranglehold that you're talking about, because look at this, man. I love underdog stories, but Warpath doesn't. Warpath really does not like underdogs. Yeah, really dislikes underdogs, totally. 2-2 split, and the cat players have yet to arrive on the scene. Of course, they don't want to give away the fact that they're crossing mid, not until the players in the subway have established position, which they now do, and they'll wait outside the horseshoe. Now, we have the execute smokes, the execute flashes, and we have to cross the ever-perilous mid that actually nobody's controlling today, so we're okay. Look at the lurk. Number 4 stays out in open space. And he wants to come through J. Ooh, early pick will probably derail a bit of this strategy here. Vico's begun the push. It's pretty clear now that nobody is coming toward B because it's Keyboard Kommandos, and they kind of do their own thing. They kind of move together. Vati's got one right up in his face. Maybe a double kill in the taps for Ruin. He's got it. A double. Edwin down, and it's a huge play because it's down to a 2 versus 2. The one retake player that's already on the scene is going to be Vati. He's coming up through the construction, and he's got a bead on the horseshoe player if he peeks out now. But he just made it back into the subway. Spray down. And Ruin wants to turn this into a one-on-one real quick because he doesn't want to fight this 2 versus 1. He heard the defuse, and he's shooting the wrong direction. Vico's got this defuse for sure. 14-12.
He almost would have had the no-kit defuse there. But that round, Ruin had some super clutch frags. Getting that double kill and taking down the Opper and Edwin was really big. I think Warpath picked up that op, so they will be saving that money going into the home stretch of this game. I mean, Perfectionvore looks like they are ready to take it and win.
So I think the way protocol works on our CEVO-P game is that we turn on sub mode and stuff like that. But I think for a smaller audience like we have tonight, we can just leave it on standard chat and hopefully let this ride out. Just no spoilers, please. Also, destroy everyone in your path, Kinky. There's a triple. No, Edwin helps him out, and you come back out for the USP flick shot. That was gorgeous. EGM's the last one alive, and it's going to be 15-12 unless we see a ace clutch in the grand finals. Please give it to me. It's not going to happen. Vico cleans that one up. It's 15-12. Perfectionvore is on the game point.
They refuse to roll over. I mean, by all accounts, Keyboard Kommandos should have been able to just, kind of steamroll them on T's side with their constant pressure, just like they did on Nuke. But Perfectionvore has seemed to have, not necessarily. I guess they have learned how to beat it because they've had such a successful CT side. They've just basically found out how to not beat it because, it's been very back and forth. They've just come up with the best plan and putting themselves in high percentage situations where they can catch the Keyboard Kommandos players off guard and then turn it into a round win.
Yes, credit to Perfectionvore's in-game leader for really diagnosing what has been exploited about them, figuring out how to counter it, and now it's beginning to pay its dividends. You don't peek twice on Edwin like that, so Exis only got one chance at it, and on the reverse, tucked back in, he got shot. Keyboard Kommandos feels the heat now, down a man. Looks like they wanted to do a B take. Looks like Perfectionvore knew something about it, and they'll just delay them a little bit longer, milking the clock, making it more pressured, when they get in the site. There's an entrant. They had to know Vico's there. He's been there so many rounds. Solo Subs got caught by it, and maybe a momentary lapse of judgment. Now it's 3 versus 4. Nobody is able to enter the site, and with 45 seconds remaining and players still in the site, I don't know that there's going to be a bomb plant in time. If this game ends by a timer, that would be a tragedy, or it's just going to be a gun down. Ruin's the last one alive. Remember, the score is onto the game points.
They don't seem to know that Ruin has already worked his way in sight, so there, he's going to get that easy frag on Kinky, and if he can turn it into 2 more, it would be awesome.
Oh my god. 25 seconds
dance.
remain. Nobody wants to peek him, and he's got 8 HP. Fire, fire, fire. Please don't burn me alive. 15 seconds, and the game's all but over. He cannot plant successfully, and he flicks a flashbang still while blind. 10 seconds now. He's going to go for the forced plant, and there's no way he can win this. He does not. Perfectionvore ties up the series 1-1. You're watching CEVO TV. I'm Cotton. My partner, of course, today is